The supermarket bakery was beginning to close for the evening. Fresh bread was being packed away, discounted pastries were being labeled, and employees quietly cleaned the display counters. Standing near the cake display was Michael Carter, a successful businessman in his early 30s. Dressed in a simple black jacket over a dark shirt, he had stopped only to buy dessert before heading home after another exhausting day. As he waited, he overheard a trembling voice at the counter. A young woman with tired eyes and a worn gray hoodie clutched an almost empty wallet. Fighting back tears, she asked the bakery employee softly, "Do you have any birthday cake that's about to expire? My daughter turned 6 today. I just can't afford a regular one." The bakery employee looked genuinely sorry. She checked every shelf and every refrigerator before quietly shaking her head. "I'm really sorry. We don't have any expired cakes tonight." The young mother lowered her head, trying not to cry. She whispered, "I promised her she'd have a birthday cake this year." Michael watched silently from a few steps away. Something about the woman's quiet dignity reminded him of his own childhood after losing his father. She wasn't asking for charity, she was simply trying to keep a promise to her little girl. Without saying a word, Michael walked to the display case and pointed toward the most beautiful birthday cake in the bakery. "I'll take that one." The young mother immediately stepped back. "Oh no, please," she said quickly. "You don't have to do that." Michael smiled kindly. "I'm not buying it because you asked." He looked her in the eyes. "I'm buying it because every little girl deserves to smile on her birthday." The bakery fell completely silent. Neither the mother nor the employees knew that this small act of kindness would begin a friendship that would change both of their lives forever. The bakery employee carefully boxed the beautiful birthday cake while Michael quietly paid for it. The young mother wiped away her tears. "My name is Emily," she said softly. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you." Michael smiled. "You don't have to. Just promise me one thing." Emily looked up. "When your daughter grows up, teach her to help someone else when she can." Emily nodded through tears. "I promise." Before leaving, Michael also asked the bakery employee to add colorful candles, balloons, and a small birthday card. He even picked up ice cream and party hats, making sure the little girl's birthday would feel truly special. That evening, Michael drove Emily home to a modest apartment building. Inside, her 6-year-old daughter Sophie was sitting by the window, believing her birthday would pass like any other day. The moment Emily walked in carrying the beautiful cake, Sophie's eyes filled with amazement. "Mommy? Is that really for me?" Emily smiled and pointed toward Michael. "He wanted you to have the birthday every child deserves." Sophie ran to Michael and wrapped her tiny arms around him. "Thank you," she whispered. For a moment, Michael forgot every business meeting, every financial success, and every luxury he owned. Nothing had ever felt more valuable than that simple hug. As he quietly prepared to leave, his phone rang. His assistant spoke urgently. "Mr. Carter, the board meeting starts in 30 minutes. Everyone is waiting." Emily froze. She had just realized the quiet man who bought her daughter's birthday cake wasn't an ordinary customer. He was the CEO of one of the country's largest companies. The next morning, Emily arrived at work expecting another ordinary day. She cleaned tables at a small neighborhood cafe while worrying about overdue rent and school expenses. She couldn't stop thinking about the kind stranger who had saved Sophie's birthday. Meanwhile, at Carter Global headquarters, Michael couldn't forget the little girl's smile either. During an executive meeting, he quietly asked his assistant to learn more about Emily, not to invade her privacy, but to see whether her family needed genuine support. The report surprised him. Emily wasn't looking for handouts. She worked 2 jobs, cared for Sophie alone after losing her husband several years earlier, and spent weekends volunteering at a children's reading program. Despite her struggles, she had never accepted charity unless she had no other choice. Michael admired her even more. Instead of simply giving her money, he visited the cafe where she worked. Emily was shocked to see him walk through the door. "You came back?" she asked. Michael smiled. "I promised myself I'd at least thank the woman who reminded me what really matters." Over coffee, they talked for hours. Emily spoke about raising Sophie, while Michael admitted that years of chasing success had left him lonely despite everything he owned. Before leaving, Michael handed Emily a business card. Our company is opening a new community outreach department, he said. We're looking for someone who truly understands families in need. I think you'd be perfect. Emily stared at the card in disbelief. I don't have a business degree. Michael smiled warmly. I can teach someone business. He paused before adding, but I can't teach the kind of heart you already have. For the first time in years, Emily allowed herself to believe that her daughter's future might finally become brighter. 6 months later, Emily had become the heart of Carter Global's Community Outreach Foundation. Instead of sitting behind a desk all day, she traveled to schools, shelters, and food banks, creating programs that helped struggling single parents find jobs, childcare, and emergency assistance. Michael insisted that every decision begin with one simple question. Will this make someone's life better? The foundation quickly became one of the country's most respected charities, helping thousands of families rebuild their lives. One Saturday afternoon, the company hosted a community celebration for children and their parents. Balloons filled the park, music played softly, and hundreds of families laughed together. When Sophie spotted Michael across the lawn, she ran straight into his arms. Mr. Michael, she shouted happily. He lifted her into the air, making everyone around them smile. Later that afternoon, Sophie climbed onto the small stage with a microphone. I want to thank the man who bought my birthday cake, she said shyly. He didn't just give me a cake. He gave my mommy hope again. The audience became silent before breaking into heartfelt applause. Emily wiped away tears as she looked at Michael. You changed our lives. Michael gently shook his head. No, he smiled at Sophie. Your daughter changed mine. That day in the bakery reminded me that success isn't measured by what we own, it's measured by the lives we touch. As the sun set, the three of them stood together watching children laugh and play. Michael realized that the greatest investment he had ever made wasn't in a business, it was in one small act of kindness that began with a little girl's birthday cake.